Don't scroll. Stop for a second. Because the strongest people you see are not always at peace. Sometimes, they're just better at hiding the weight. For over 40 years, Denzel Washington has looked untouchable, calm, disciplined, unshaken, while the world around him kept collapsing. Scandals, fame, ego. He stayed grounded. But what people admire is only half the story, because discipline is not always strength. Sometimes, it's survival. Now at 71, the question isn't what he achieved. It's what it cost him. What stayed with him long after the applause ended. Because before the fame, there was silence. He grew up in Mount Vernon, New York. A home built on rules, on structure, on faith, but not on warmth. His mother worked endlessly, holding the family together. His father was present in duty, but distant in emotion. There were no loud arguments, no chaos, just something heavier, absence. And when his parents separated, he was just a kid, trying to understand something that had no clear shape. Because sometimes, the deepest pain is not what happens, it's what never does. That absence followed him into his teenage years, and slowly pulled him toward something dangerous. The streets gave him something simple: belonging, identity, a place to stand. Many of the people around him didn't make it out. Some spent decades in prison. He didn't, and that wasn't luck. That was intervention. His mother saw it coming before he did, so she made a decision that changed everything. She sent him away to military school. 14. Felt like punishment. Cold mornings, strict rules, no comfort, no family, just pressure. But inside that pressure, something formed: control, discipline, focus. For the first time, he wasn't drifting. Years later, he said something simple, but powerful. I believe my mother saved my life. Not with comfort, with action. But even then, he still didn't know who he was. College came. Struggle came with it. No money, no direction, just survival. Until one moment changed everything. A random stage, a missing performer, and a decision to step in. No preparation, no expectations, just instinct. And when he performed, something clicked. The room reacted. People felt it. And one voice said something that would stay with him forever. You were born to do this. For the first time, he wasn't lost. He had direction. He chose acting, and stepped into a life where nothing was guaranteed. Rejection became routine. Auditions ended in silence. Days blurred into waiting, nights into doubt. But he kept showing up. Because this wasn't about fame. It was about purpose. Slowly, things changed. Small roles, then bigger ones, then real choices. And one of those choices defined everything. He was offered a role, big opportunity, fast success. But it required compromise. It required him to become something he wasn't. So he asked for guidance. Sidney Poitier. And the answer was clear. Your choices early on will define you. So he walked away. He said no. And that no cost him. Work slowed down. Doors closed. But something stayed. Integrity. And when success finally came clean. Earned. Not forced. But success comes with weight. Long hours. Isolation. Pressure to never fall. At the top, mistakes don't disappear. They stay. And for someone built on discipline, that pressure becomes constant. Behind the scenes, life looked different. Family, marriage, responsibility. He met Pauletta before fame, before money, before everything. And she stayed. While he worked, she held everything together. The home, the children, the balance. He later admitted, she carried the real weight. Because success doesn't raise a family. Presence does. And sometimes, he wasn't there. That's the cost nobody sees. Not failure. Not scandal. Absence. Moments you can't get back. Time you can't replay. Even loss. Hit differently. When his father died, he didn't cry, not because he didn't care, but because there was no deep connection to grieve, just questions, unanswered ones, that stay longer than pain. Over time, he understood something. Love doesn't always look like love. And from that, he made a decision. He would be different, present, open, available. He would say what was never said to him. But life kept reminding him, nothing lasts forever. Friends passed. Time moved faster. And then, his own body forced him to stop. A health scare. A moment of stillness. For the first time, he had to slow down. And in that silence, he realized something deeper than success. Strength is temporary. Control is never guaranteed. And life is not owned. It is borrowed. After that, he changed. Not loudly, quietly. He moved with intention. Spoke less. Listened more. Focused on what actually matters. Faith, family, meaning. Now at 71, the world sees a legend. Awards, legacy, respect. But behind that image is something deeper. A man who turned absence into discipline, pain into control, and success into responsibility. Because his real story isn't about how high he rose. It's about what he refused to become. In a world that rewards compromise, he stayed the same. And that's rare. Because rising is easy compared to staying true. And maybe that's why, even now, there's something in his silence. Not sadness, not regret, but wait, the kind you don't talk about, the kind you carry, and the kind that defines who you really are.